People get it twisted when they talk about making money in the modern world because they're still clinging to ideas that died years ago, and they keep chasing a version of success that was designed for a world that no longer exists. And it's wild how many people refuse to wake up to that reality because we were raised to believe that the only way to survive was to walk a certain path and follow a certain blueprint, and for a long time maybe that was true, but now everything has been turned inside out and upside down, and the rules of the game have changed so drastically that the only people thriving are the ones who realize that there's no one coming to save them, and no one's about to hand them anything, and no traditional route is going to offer them the security they were promised. And if you want to make it now, you have to understand that you are your own product and your own business and your own marketing team, and the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can stop complaining about how unfair the system is and start using the system for what it is, which is a broken machine that rewards people who know how to exploit attention and leverage skills and solve problems that other people either don't know how to solve or are too lazy to fix, because there's no such thing as a stable job anymore, and there's no safety net waiting for you, and the idea of working one job until retirement is as outdated as a flip phone. And if you're still chasing that, then you're going to drown, and it won't be pretty, and nobody's going to feel sorry for you because everybody's dealing with their own struggle, and everybody's quietly trying to claw their way out of a pit. So you either get smart or you get left behind, and getting smart doesn't mean you need a fancy degree or a polished resume, because those things are becoming less and less valuable by the year. What actually matters now is whether you can get people to care about what you're doing, and whether you can deliver something that matters to somebody somewhere, because money follows value, and value follows attention, and attention follows consistency. And if you can't stay consistent, you're finished before you even begin, because most people quit before the good part starts, and most people give up when it gets hard, and most people think they're entitled to results after a few weeks or a few months. But the truth is, the only people making real money are the ones who put their heads down and stayed relentless when it was boring and thankless and quiet, because everything about making money now is about stacking small wins and building leverage, and then flipping that leverage into something scalable. And that doesn't mean you need to be a tech genius or some influencer with millions of followers, because there are people making six figures flipping thrift store finds, and people making real income selling digital product they made on their phone, and people running freelance gigs from coffee shops in small towns, while others are still trying to figure out how to update their resume and complain about how nobody's hiring when the internet has turned the entire world into a marketplace. And if you're not playing the game, it's not because you can't, it's because you won't, and that's a choice you make every single day, whether you realize it or not. And you don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to pick a lane and start moving, and you need to stay moving when it gets awkward, and stay moving when nobody's clapping, and stay moving when you start doubting yourself, because doubt is part of the process and the fear is part of it too. And anybody who tells you otherwise is lying to your face, because making money is scary when you've never done it before, and taking risks feels reckless when you're used to playing it safe. But playing it safe doesn't exist anymore, because jobs get cut and companies fold and industries collapse overnight, and you don't control any of that. So you better control what you can, and what you can control is your effort and your discipline and your ability to learn skills that people will pay for, because skills pay bills, and the more skills you have, the less you have to beg and the less you have to settle. And there's money in everything now. There's money in editing videos and designing logos and running ads and ghostwriting and flipping collectibles and making digital courses and managing social media accounts and starting niche blogs and selling templates and drop shipping products and buying and selling domain names and offering consulting on things you already know how to do. And you don't have to do all of it. You just have to do one thing well enough that somebody notices, and then you double down and you keep stacking and you keep reinvesting and you keep figuring out what works and what doesn't, and you stop worrying about what everybody else is doing, because most people are faking it, and most people aren't as successful as they pretend to be, and none of that matters anyway, because you have your own path and your own problems and your own obligations, and you owe it to yourself to at least try, because the regret of not trying will crush you way worse than the fear of failing. And the crazy thing is, most people are one skill away from changing their situation, and they don't even realize it, because they've been taught to think small and play safe and stay quiet. But you can't stay quiet in a world that rewards visibility and boldness and courage. And if you want to eat, you have to be willing to hunt, because nobody's handing out anything anymore, and nobody cares about your excuses, and nobody's going to come tap you on the shoulder and tell you it's your time. You have to take your time, and you have to claim your place, and you have to make your own money, and the tools are right in front of you, and the game is wide open. But it won't stay open forever, because eventually the people who move slow get locked out, and the people who hesitate get replaced. And it's harsh, but it's the truth. And you need to get to a point where you are so sick of feeling broke and overlooked and stuck that you'll do whatever it takes to build something that belongs to you and nobody can take away from you, because it's built on your sweat and your discipline and your willingness to keep showing up, and your refusal to let temporary setbacks turn into permanent excuses. And yes, it's going to be lonely, and yes, it's going to be exhausting, and yes, you're going to want to quit more times than you can count. count, but on the other side of that is freedom and the ability to call your own shots, and you can't put a price on that because money isn't just about money, it's about options and peace of mind, and being able to walk away from things that don't serve you, and being able to say no to people who don't value you, and being able to live life on your terms without asking for permission. So stop waiting for the right time, because the right time is a lie, and stop waiting for somebody to believe in you, because most people won't, and stop telling yourself that you need more confidence, because confidence comes after the work, not before it, and stop assuming you need some perfect plan, because plans fall apart, and what matters is your ability to adapt and stay dangerous and stay useful and keep learning, because the world belongs to people who refuse to be ignored and refuse to be controlled and refuse to settle for crumbs. And you don't have to be the smartest or the most connected or the most talented. You just have to be relentless and resourceful and stubborn enough to outlast the people who give up when it gets inconvenient, because the people making money now are the ones who saw an opening and ran through it while everybody else was hesitating. And you can be one of those people if you want to, but nobody's going to beg you to join them, and nobody's going to drag you along. And that's exactly why you should start now before another day turns into another excuse, because at the end of the day, nobody cares about your potential. They care about what you produce, and you owe it to yourself to find out what you're really capable of when you stop pretending you're powerless and start acting like the person you were always meant to be.